How's it going, guys? I ran 50 Lakes of Kalandra that were juiced the highest I could get them, and I recorded the contents of every single chest in this spreadsheet, which came to a total of 658 chests. So I did this so that we can learn whatever I can draw from this, primarily to see how the rewards keep scaling past the 5th level of difficulty. Let's look and see. If you make a copy of this chest, you can do these sort mechanics as well to get this. So I'm going to sort this sheet by difficulty, then sort it by chest, and here we go. Let's look at currency. So currency chests at the first level of difficulty, we're dropping 6 pieces to 8 pieces. So I was counting every single item that dropped in the chest, like all of the jewelers, fusings, chromes, all of it together, and then documenting anything of value here. So the chaos results. So as we go through the difficulties, at level 3, we're getting up to 14 to 16 items out of each one, and we keep going. So here in tier 8, we've got the upper 20s, and then it continues going. So up in tier 11, up to 32 to 36 was the highest that I saw, all the way up to the 1T16, which was a normal tile. It wasn't one of the notch tiles. This one dropped me 42 items. So you do want to actually make your chain as long as possible. There's not like an optimal difficulty level to put all of your pieces at away from the start. You want to make it as long as possible. The hardest difficulty is going to give you the most stuff. This, to me, confirms it. Same with divination cards, and I also include the number of stacked decks. Probably about like 40% of the items dropping from the divination card chest will be stacked decks. But I didn't get any amazing divination cards drop themselves. I probably will have better luck with the stacked decks if I were to guess. But yeah, nothing crazy out of there. But yeah, they continue to scale up to the mid-20s, the number of divination cards that come out of them as the tiers go up. It's like constant scaling. I will say the difficulty of the encounters probably scales a little harder than the amount of rewards you get from the chests, but that's not the topic here today. So, gyms. You start off with like 2, and I was at first documenting like how many quality gyms dropped, but they're all quality gyms. I dropped 0% quality gym out of every gym chest that dropped. Every single other one was qualityed. So I eventually stopped marking how many gyms were less than 10% quality. So this less than 20% quality actually means 10 to 19% quality out of them. And then I documented if they were 23% or 20% quality or level 21 gyms that I got. Now, GDG has mentioned that they're going to remove gems as a reward from 3-notched or 4-notched tiles. So your power and your conflict and your tyranny are not going to spawn these chests anymore. They're only going to spawn in the like reflection of chaos, your basic tiles. But playing in SSF, I really feel like I got the most out of the gym chests because there's so many level 21 gyms, which in SSF it takes a lot of effort to get a bunch of different level 21 gyms. So this opens up a lot of builds that I can play. I also got 2 empowers out of there. And yeah, the more items that drop, the more chance you have to get level 21 gems. So the further difficulty you make the tile, the better the possibility of the rewards. Next is maps. Now, I was pretty unhappy with the map rewards. The map rewards only scaled to 8 at the highest difficulty that I got one to spawn. 14, 13, these are dropping 8 pieces. 10 to 12 drop 7 maps. So these don't drop maps all the time based on your atlas. You're getting a lot of white maps and yellow maps and low tier red maps out of these. You're getting 8 mod maps. This one I got 8 mod T7 map, 8 mod T13, 8 mod T16, 8 mod T11, T8, T4, T5, and only 1 T16. Now they can drop Conqueror maps or Guardian maps, though it's pretty rare. I got a Hunter here, a Hydra here, Vault Temple, Eradicator. So seeing those is really cool because those take a lot of grind to farm up, and you're not farming maps to get them at this point, so giving you a few of those was cool. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed with the map rewards because I wasn't getting many 16 maps that I'm probably not gonna like ever touch again out of there. While I'm here, I will mention I had 2 Legion encounters. I was building these based on the notched tiles, so I wasn't getting these, but this T6 notched Legion encounter gave me 48 Mariketh splinters. So that seemed pretty good to me. What's next here? Scarabs. Scarabs scale about the same as maps. You don't get many. It seems like the rarity of the scarabs doesn't scale with difficulty as much. It's just the same % chance to roll gilded or polished with the number of like quantity the chest drops. So that's really all there is to say about that. Like, you can get gilded from a 3-piece chest the same as you can from a 6-piece chest. There's no increased rarity with the difficulty. It's just increased quantity, it seems. And then uniques, it's the same thing, scaling up to 8 uniques at difficulty 13. Difficulty 4 and 5 are only going to drop you 4 uniques, whereas 6 and 7 will drop you 5 uniques per chest, and then up to 6 at 8. So the further the tile is away from the entrance to the lake, the better the rewards are. Now, it would seem to me that the most alluring thing from the Lake of Kalandra is going to be the reflecting mists to give you the mirrored rings and amulets. So these never spawned before the difficulty 4 tile in the area, but I did notice that the higher the difficulty Kalandra spawns in, the better the multiplier is on the roll of the item that you're mirroring. So let me show you that here. This item right here has 142 life on it. Now, it rolled T1 life for a ring, 70 to 79, but once it was mirrored, it went up to 142. This ring here also had a 70 to 79 roll of life, and this one has 202 life on it. So this ring here came from a higher difficulty reflecting mist than the sapphire ring here. So the higher difficulty Kalandra spawns in, the bigger multiplier of the mods on them. This is almost 3 times the mods on here. So I never found a way to determine where Kalandra was going to spawn. It seemed pretty random, but sometimes she will, and sometimes when she does give you 2 reflecting mists, she will duplicate the enemies that spawn in that encounter. So your T12 Tyranny encounter that gets duplicated enemies, so you're fighting 6 really hard bosses. It's kind of crazy, but you do guarantee 2 reflecting mists out of those. But not every time she shows up and gives you 2 reflecting mists will she duplicate the encounter. Yeah, the Tyranny encounters were very hard at the higher tiers, much harder than the Conflict or Power, the Rogue Exiles, or the single boss, and the rewards you got from them were not that different. So if I were to, let's sort by difficulty, sort by type here, and sort by chest. So currency chest from like Conflict, like so the same, they all scale up. Power, it scales up. And then Tyranny, I was putting these higher difficulties. So 10, we're getting 30 pieces. 11, we're getting 30 higher, upwards to the upper of 30 from 10 to 14. So Power, 10 to 14, again, we're in the 30s up to 41 at the 14. And then the same with Conflict, T10 up, it's all 30 pieces. So you're not rewarded for the increased difficulty of the Tyranny encounters. That is my other big takeaway. So difficulty absolutely matters. You want Kalandra to spawn the furthest distance away, so making a long chain is the best chance for that to happen. And Tyranny does not seem worth over your normal 3-notch tiles with the Rogue Exiles or the bosses. Now, let's look at some chest statistics. So I ran 50 lakes, 48 of them have reflecting mists. Though 2 of them had the reflection of Kalandra, and those did not, because Kalandra was giving me the one that I could put my own piece of jewelry in to mirror. So, of the tiles that I ran, 220 were conflict. Those are the Rogue Exiles. 251 were the single boss, and 79 were tyranny. And then I documented the number of types of chests per encounter, roughly 30% for currency among them all. Tyranny had a lower chance at gems, but conflict and power had a higher chance. And then roughly equal, no, this was div cards, so lower chance on div cards, roughly equal on the gems. Slightly higher chance for maps, slightly higher chance for scarabs, but the quantity of those chests doesn't scale as high as it does with the others. So another like knock against the tyrannies to me. And then uniques also kind of spread a little higher quantity of the conflict and power. So I think the conflict and power nodes are just better. So from my currency chests, I got 6 divines, 7 exalts, and 6 annulments. And across it all, I got 574 stacked decks. So yeah, though I have all of those here, I got 76 mirrored items, the best of which was probably this bone ring that has like the positives of minion damage, minion resistance, and minion movement speed on it. So this ring looked crazy to me. And this ring has 14 plus 67 rarity on it with strength, not much downside. I thought these were the best things I got out of there. And then there's all the rest of the reflected rings that are like, they're pretty bad. Most of them, like all of them. So I got a couple like fracture items that were maybe worth saving, nothing amazing. Here's all the uniques that I picked up. I actually picked up every single unique. Nothing huge jumped out aside from the Aegis Aurora, but this didn't come from a chest. This dropped off of a Rogue Exile in one of the encounters. So that's where the Aegis Aurora came from. None of the rest of the stuff came from running the lakes. This one came from before. I ran this batch. This one was pretty nice. This one gave me all positives on all of the mods. It was the only one that I've seen do that. And then, yeah, here's 47 level 21 gems to come from all that. Got myself 3 Cortexes. Arcali's Fang, Void Forge, Cinder Swallow, and look at this Venter's Gamble. 58 life, 10% quant, 21 rarity, plus on fire res, plus on cold, only minus on lightning. Beautiful, beautiful roll on the Venter's Gamble, I think. So that's probably going to find its way into use at some point. But that's all I've got for this video. I guess in the next one, I will start leveling my Cleave project. And yeah, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon just below the video, or by joining to become a member. And I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.